So here's the thing. I feel like the majority of Western Canadian hockey fans are not really focused too much on what we're going to be talking about today. I think it goes without saying that the most important topic that people are diving into at this moment is the Stanley Cup Finals and the Edmonton Oilers' defeat at the hands of the Florida Panthers. The fact that Edmonton lost yet again and was not able to get it done. This time it was a lot worse than last year. They got totally outclassed, outplayed, outperformed, and they didn't really have a chance, to be honest. But what if I told you that the Florida Panthers farm team, the AHL squad, the Charlotte Checkers, are also in the AHL Finals? And instead of talking about how the Oilers or whatever losing, McDavid's leaving, Draisaitl's pissy, something, instead of talking about Edmonton, we are talking about Vancouver. Because the Florida Panthers AHL affiliate, they are down 2-1 in the AHL Calder Cup Finals to the Abbotsford Canucks. And in this video, what I wanted to do was talk about one of the underrated gems Abbotsford has had, and somebody that I think has really bolstered up his game to the point that he could potentially be a diamond in the rough, if you want to say that. Today, I wanted to talk about Kirill Kudryavtsev, because he has put on a show that might not seem like that big of a deal until you really dive into some of the extra numbers. Today, I want to talk about Kudryavtsev because this 2022 7th-round pick by the Vancouver Canucks is proving to be so much better than anybody would have expected a 7th-round pick to be. He's 21 years old, 5'11", 201, left-handed D-man, and there actually was a scouting report on this guy back when he was drafted in the Sioux Greyhounds organization in 2022. The Elite Prospects Draft Guide back in the day went out there and said that Kudryavtsev is one of the smartest activators in the draft class. His upside comes from both supporting the offense and creating it. He anticipates handoffs along the boards, using that space to shoot. The give and go from the point features heavily in his game, often used to create a shot for himself or set up a teammate across the slot. When he's on the weak side, he consistently identifies seams and then fills them without exposing his team to risk. Now, the fact that a guy with this kind of a scouting report ended up getting drafted in the 7th round is kind of an interesting deal. He was ranked to go 104th by Elite Prospects, but slipped to twice that in the actual draft at 208. The Canucks snagged him up, and Kudryavtsev inevitably finished his career off in the OHL Sioux Greyhound system. This year, though, Kudryavtsev has played in the Abbotsford Canucks and in the Vancouver Canucks system. It's his first year as a hockey-playing pro in the AHL and NHL. And on top of the 2 games he had with the Vancouver Canucks, Kudryavtsev scored 26 points in 65 AHL games with Abby. Add to this 9 points in 18 games in the playoffs, and you have the profile that you have. However, this is the interesting part about it. You look at the points, you look at the numbers, and you're like, okay, I mean, half a point a game guy in the playoffs. Great. That's not amazing, but it's fine. 21 years old, first year pro, right? He's okay. But the thing is, with Kirill Kudryavtsev, there is so much value in what he is bringing away from the score sheet that it almost becomes ridiculous when you look at some of the stats when they're laid out in front of you. Let's head over onto Cody Severtson's Twitter account. He writes for Canucks Army, he has a great Letterboxd account, and he has been a great follow for Utica Comets stuff and Abbotsford Canucks stuff for years. Kirill Kudryavtsev, he says, WTF, he has been on the ice for 17 goals for and only 3 goals against at 5v5. In all situations, he has been on the ice for just those 3 5v5 goals against and 25 goals for. This is either generational deployment by Manny Malhotra and co., or the quietest major on-ice impact player amongst all Abbotsford Canucks skaters. And attached are the graphs which showcase these same things. How Kudryavtsev is on the ice for so many more goals for than against. 25 for and 3 against at all situations, and 17 for and 3 against at 5v5. What in the world? How's that even possible? This guy is not allowing anything to go by him. Top reply to this tweet is from Cam Robinson, content director and director of film scouting at Elite Prospects. He says, "I've been telling y'all, this Kudryavtsev kid, he is legit." Eric Von Schaefer replied afterwards saying this, "Watch Kudryavtsev's play, dude. I've been watching it like a hawk. He's screwed up like 3 or 4 plays. Everything else he has done is very high hockey IQ. He's going to be very underrated. He needs to improve on the PK, and then he can get Vancouver ice time." Cody then replied saying, "Yep, the only spot I've seen Kudryavtsev struggle with is gap control and keeping pace, defending those wide drives down the wing whilst on the PK. The kid's wicked smart outlets, few puck management gaffes, an impressive rookie campaign." And this is one of the biggest things that I think Canucks fans might not have realized about Kirill Kudryavtsev. It's not just Elias Pettersson and Victor Mancini, but this guy too, who has a very legitimate chance of becoming something at the NHL level. Maybe he's not going to be a top 4 D-man this year. Maybe he's not going to be a top 4 D-man next year. Maybe he's never going to be a top 4 D-man. But at 21 years old, as a rookie in the AHL, already putting up some of the best on-ice goals for and goals against results on the team, there is absolutely nothing to slow down the progression of what Kudryavtsev has been capable of doing. I mean, he has been a top-tier D-man for the Abby Canucks in this run. And what's even more interesting is that he actually is the top-scoring D-man on the team in the postseason. He's got more points than Mancini, whom a lot of Canucks fans were super high on because of his stint in Vancouver, and he's got more points than Christian Wolanin as well. There's an underrated scoring element here to Kirill Kudryavtsev's game that I think Canucks fans are starting to understand is a lot more obvious when you look at the advanced analytics. And so with all that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Kudryavtsev and his profile here, how alongside of Victor Mancini, there are some potential NHL hopefuls in the Abbotsford Canucks blue line that really start to make things interesting when you think about the main club's roster longer term. Do you think Kudryavtsev has a legitimate chance of playing, let's say, 15 games with the Vancouver Canucks next season? Do you think this guy has a chance of being an 82-game NHL guy at some point in his career? Not too shabby for a 7th-round pick, eh? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Kirill Kudryavtsev and the way he has progressed and his dominance analytically in the AHL playoffs so far. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.